Motor Mind. Hey folks, Motor Mind. Just gonna do some front discs and pads on the Freelander 1. So just thought I'd do a quick video, how to, for those who may be interested in it themselves. So first thing to do, I crack off the front wheels. So put yourself in this little bar, or ratchet, and this little fancy little guy here. And there, you want to have it so the wheels still. Sorry about that. Clumsy me. You want to have it where you can have the wheels so solid. But I put the jack underneath it on the subframe and jacked up a little bit. So once that's on there solid like that, crack them off. Here, 22 mil. Okay. So what you want to do, just go along, just crack them off. Okay, well, see, part of the vehicle's weight has been supported by the jack already, so that's the best way to do it. It's also the best way to change your tire to do. Alright, so there's a couple turns. Once that's done, then jack it up all the way. Got a little Sealy jack here. I've done a review on this. Quite a nice little bit of kit. Alright, so I got her up. What I'm going to do now, put it down. Whenever working on a vehicle, you always want to put jack stands underneath. Never ever trust hydraulics. So underneath here, you will find the jacking point. That looks like a little out there. This way I like to have it. There's different structure you can go underneath, and underneath there as well. As I said, normally on the pinch weld here, you'll find jacking points. Normally they're marked out, some sort of marking or something. But this guy here seems to have a little rubber stop on there. Right, on that side, like so. Let's see if you put the jack underneath and find that the wheels touch, just jack it up a bit higher. Definitely have a jack stand though. As you can see, it snowed overnight here a little bit. Don't get a lot of snow where I'm at, but every once in a while you do. Let's see, jack point right there. Right now, what I'm gonna do is lower it down onto the jacks ever so gently. Hands are wet. Let's see a second here. I need 2 hands for this job. Right. Let's see in a second, it's not pausing for me. A little bit higher up. You can see one side's touching. Right, so this wheel decided to touch. So just one more up on each side. Right. And lower it down again. That will do. Now I'm going to spin those off. Oh, let's do this to me. Hey folks, so I've got the wheels pulled off. So the next thing I do, you see this guy here, see, I believe it's what, 12 mil on the back. That is obviously a little bit corroded. There's corrosion on there, so I have to fight with it a little bit. Just wiggle it back and forth. And then back it off. So I'll do that guy there. There's one on the bottom there. Same deal. Let's take the caliper off. Now, I'll have an easier way of doing this. So that's why I do it. Another way, I should say my preferred way of doing this. Everybody has one of these, but this little unit here. Snap-on 14.4, 3/8 drive, battery operated impact. Freaking brilliant. Now, I will say I need to unlock the steering. So the same 14.4. Stick it on there. Oh. Yeah, it makes life a heck of a lot easier. Obviously there are other makes, other models, you know, DeWalt and Milwaukee and all that. Take that off. Boom. Up on there. There's your discs. There's your pads. I mean, these ones didn't really need doing, but this vehicle laid up for a while. And yeah, they're about 40% worn or so. I wanted to stick some new discs and pads on here. This is almost my own OCD, I suppose. So now I'm doing discs as well. And you need to pull the carrier off. So best we do that. The bolt there, the bolt up top there. See what we need in the shot there. So bolt there, off. This carrier comes off, and you get that guy off. So like I was saying there, so 16 mil on the back. Try to do it without stripping them, of course. Actually, if it's smaller, 16, it'd be 15. The only thing with an old vehicle, maybe a corrosion on there, so I'm gonna get a 15. Alright, just a good idea. Wire brush, just corrosion off. There's bolts, a little bit of grease, wrenching fluid just to help loosen them off. And let's try it again. Let's see, 15 on there. Okay. And again. Let's go. Yeah, so just kind of bounce up and down a little bit on it. Right. Mainly I use the big ones like that to crack it off. So get this off. Joys are working on an old vehicle. You know, you'll play with rust, corrosion, especially in areas like this where it's quite wet around here. You know, where a lot of water. Some people that may live in drier, arid areas, you know, you don't have to deal with this as much. Not me, not where I live. Right. Still feel some rust on that one. Right. I've seen a lot of guys, just a little note, working in places, you let the caliper hang on a rubber line. Just never do that. Rubber hoses are not designed to be carrying weight like that. You're having all that strain, you actually will weaken the rubber hose. You can cause issues with it, stretch it, weaken the fibers in it. It's just don't do that. Keep it supported. If you take this off, hang it up. Usually use a bungee strap. Hang the carrier up on something way out of the way if you're doing front end work. Just don't be hanging them on the rubber lines. It's just not good for your hoses. So just a little tech tip. As guys say, they never had problems. Yeah, you never had a problem until you have a problem. So he said, this is best. Don't be risking it. Just don't do it. Alright, so I can't get into the guy. I'll show you what I mean here in a second because I'm going to have to take that off to get this off. This I was talking about. Just got a little bungee strap on there. Wrapped on a few times because it's a bit long. Hanging up on there. Little to no stress on that line there. You know, it's just slip in there. That's it. See, now I've got all this room to work. And any front end, any work you need to do on this now. It's the best way to do it. So, on that. It's nice and gentle. It's a nice thing about having a nice long ratchet. Right. Now, a tippity tap. I'll get a beaten stick instead of using this expensive ratchet. Right, so what we're doing here, just knocking that off of there. This makes it easier to get out. Right. Just for speed, because face it, I spent all day doing this. Get the old 3/8 impact. All I really did with the big ratchets is just enough to kind of crack them off. Obviously, if you have a 1/2-inch impact, stuff like that, that works quite well on these as well. So the carrier's off. Okay, now you get this guy off. Let's hold on. Just screw right there. I've seen some guys struggle with those, so usually it's a lovely little tool you can get for that. I'll grab it now. Okay. Best thing is these little guys here. Great for doing this stuff. So select which one you want. So that guy there fits in there nice. Now this. don't know if I can show you this. Let me get the camera set up here. I don't have the best camera, so might just do that, show you what I mean. That's it. So with that out of here, flip around a little bit. As you can see, once you get that off, no damage to the screw. See, a lot of guys wreck these because you try to use a pair of like a torque screwdriver, so I've got to strip that out. No need. Get that little impact driver. There. That's hold on a little bit. Yeah. Corrosion on the inside of that. There you go. It's all stripped down now. Now, this is reverse order. Put it all back together. I'll show you here in a minute. Right, so there's a new disc. This is the old disc. All I always like to do is confirm the right diameter. Too many times I've seen when part splices mess up, you do the wrong discs. Now if you do look at the difference, you can see the old ones are getting quite thin. I wouldn't doubt that these old discs are probably under spec, and left any longer, they may have survived this last set of pads, and women pads and discs on this vehicle anyways, so you need to do it anyway. So I'm get ready to put it back together. Set the disc on there, put the screw back in. So I'm going to take a wire brush and clean up all these where the contacts are, where the pads sit in the carrier. Clean them up all nice. You also want to get yourself something like a copper slip, or I got some of this stuff here. It's like a silicone lubricant. There's a Mintex metal-free permanent lubricant. Just helps lubricate your pads, make sure they don't seize up in the carrier and stuff like that. You know, put a little bit on the old one. You know, put some on there, and then only just where the caliper sits on there. On the insides, same thing. And you just want to put just a little bit, just kind of on there, but just wherever it contacts. Oh, and only just there on that side there. Don't have to paint the whole thing. Don't put a load on. You don't want to have a lot of stuff sticking. It's just enough to stop these from these guys here when they slide back and forth from seizing in the carrier. As you can see, carrier's on, pads are in. Let's go put the caliper on. This one here comes with a couple new bolts, so I'll use them. And always make sure when I tighten this up, these bolts make it really tight. There's actually a torque spec on them. If you're not sure, look it up. And make sure it's tight and that the caliper's in there. I just did. And it's only because I've been in the trade for over 20 years. I know what I'm doing. I used this guy here, torqued it up, and I know this by the feel. I've done thousands of brakes, so yeah, this you kind of learn after a while. But if I'm going to want to say one thing, if for whatever reason it's first time doing brakes, you're a little unsure, either have a garage do it, or if you know somebody who's done them, who's quite experienced, handy, you know, in the backyard mechanic, somebody who's done a lot of brakes and has worked on cars, have them come either give you a hand or supervise you. Don't be messing around with brakes, steering, suspension, anything like that if you're unsure. It's safety items, and if you're just not quite sure what you're doing, and you want to learn, fine, great. Ask somebody who knows, or just take it down to the local garage. Don't be messing around with safety items like steering and brakes, suspension, stuff like that. It's just not worth it. Okay, I've seen too many times. I've seen people put the pads in backwards. This causes issues. I've seen I've destroyed your pads, destroyed your brand new disc, or you haven't done it right. They have the bolts gone loose, something like that, and you've had problems. So just if you're a little bit unsure, then have somebody give you a hand, or just take it somewhere. Alright, so that's going to be about it for now. Obviously, to go do this side, I would like to say that whenever I do brakes myself, I always just kind of I do both sides at the same time. So I would like take the caliper off, go side, do the caliper off, come do like this, and I go back and forth, kind of do step by step. It actually ends up being faster just doing it that way. If you have jack stands and stuff, you can lift the whole vehicle up fine. If you only can do one side at a time, well, then only do one side at a time. But that's just how I do it. It's a lot quicker, and normally I can bang off a set of brakes in less than an hour. It's it's obviously easier on lift. I'm doing it on the ground here in front of my house, but yeah. By all means, hope you enjoy the video. Subscribe, click that like button, and watch more videos. I'll be seeing you soon, and thanks for watching. Alright, just to finish this video off, I just remembered one last thing. So obviously you gotta push the calipers back. So I always do. Crack off the master cylinder. It does the any pressure, because obviously it's gonna push it back through. There's two ways of doing this. That's why I'm gonna do it. Just do that. Use one of the old pads. And I always do. So you can get tools and go in there. Oh, I find it's just a good old G-clamp works quite well. Now you can do the way I'm going to do, which is take that off. I've never had a problem with this for a long time. Or you can crack the bleed valve off on the caliper, and as you push it back, it'll push fluid out. Either way works. So just back the G-clamp off. So as you can see, here's how I usually do it. Put it on the back there, like that. I'm going to twist this in, and it pushes the caliper right back. If I can do this one-handed, like, so I'll hold it here. It's not the best. Yeah. Yeah. So there you are. So that's backed off. And you can get the get unit in there. Right. Obviously, it's a lot easier with two hands than holding a camera. Alright, so that helps. And yeah, click that like and subscribe, and watch some more videos. Thanks, and see you. Have a good day.